Some of the things I've actually learnt through with the questions since studying and doing hospitality for a long period of time. I was fortunate enough to be on the Board of Studies to be able to write a previous HSC paper, and so that understanding of that previous HSC paper writing experience has enabled me to put in practice a lot of things, and these are some of the hints that I've found and that would actually assist you. Just remember that the exam paper is actually being set in November, the year before you sit the paper. So it's actually being set just after you do your HSC exam. So they're actually getting together to do that. There's also questions. These questions need to be constructed with a topic area based around, in question 21, the develop and update hospitality industry knowledge. That's the topical area that is being actually used within the last 12 months. So when they're actually designing an actual question for question 21, they're looking at topical developments, updates in the industry that can all be put together to actually ensure that it's still going to be topical within a 12-month time frame. So when we stop and have a look, it's really important then to go back through the media, have a look at environmental issues and have a look at industry developments. Go through areas on the internet to have a look at what's really important or what is spread over that time frame. And I'm sure that you might be able to pick some areas that are pretty suitable. Good brainstorming activity to do within your classroom. One of the other things that I actually get my students to do is to start collecting from the beginning of the end of year 11 or in the preliminary year of the HSC, is to make sure they start collecting newspapers, clippings all year, make sure they've look at hospitality journals, making sure they look at areas of interest in the newspaper or magazines that have come up within that time frame. We actually give ourselves a scrapbooking idea, so people bring them in and we have a course scrapbook. So that course scrapbook enables us to actually discuss things, and we bring it out again just before the HSC and look at things that have been happening over that time frame. You'll find that that's been a really great visual stimulus at the end if you start to do that now, or even start looking at the internet yourself and go through. So that's section 3. Now we move on to section 4 with the rubric. Now this is changed just slightly, and the slight thing is communicating ideas in the second point. Communicate ideas and information using precise industry knowledge and appropriate workplace examples. Now it's very similar, okay, to the other one, but we have to be specific in this to make sure that we do that, remembering that this section is coming out of your elective areas. So if you give more workplace examples in this, it's very important to do so. Organise information in a well-reasoned and cohesive response, which is good, and demonstrate relevant knowledge and understanding. And the thing that's different is you need to solve proposed issues or problems. So that fourth point is very important. So you're actually trying to solve a problem or an issue in your actual question that you've been asked. Now, in that section in question 4, it's always referring to things that you've done on the syllabus. Now, what I'd like you to do is to make sure you get your syllabus out. I want you to photocopy your syllabus, and this will help you very specifically for question 21 and 22, 23 and 24. I want you to go and get your syllabus, print it off, cut it up, and know all your key terms and contexts off by heart. If you start to do that, you will ensure that you are able to meet the requirements of these 2 questions very specifically and understand that you will get a very high level result from it. Ensure you've required all the skills and knowledge from the syllabus area, which is called HSC Requirements and Advice. Use this as a big guide in your HSC study. Cut it up, add to your summaries. It's a good idea to base your summary specifically around this area. Remember that these questions can only come from this area of the HSC syllabus. They can't come from anywhere else. So that is a very, very big hint for you to remember. Some of the final tips that I have for you for your HSC for hospitality are: firstly, reread your class notes. Ask questions. There are people there to answer them for you. If you ask a question in a classroom, that could be what somebody else in the classroom wants to ask, but they're too scared to do so. This way it can solve all your queries immediately. Summarise your class notes. Now the notes are being given to you for an actual reason, not just to look at, not just to put in your folder, or not just to throw away and use as scrap paper, but they're there for you to actually use for your HSC. If you do this as you go along over the 2 years, it's a lot easier. We find that as soon as we finish a topic, we do our summaries, we hand them in, we check them to make sure they're HSC study level, and then we move on. We put that into a little special folder, and that's for a HSC study. That's what my students have actually been doing. But if you have been one of those people that have not started this, don't get too scared. You can start now. Get yourself organised and start doing it. Attempt past questions. They're always a good reflection on the question styles and the ability of where you are at. Do practice essays. Give yourself a time frame. Ask your teacher to actually answer those questions and mark them for you. Ask them for feedback. Feedback is extremely important. Read additional material that is given to you in class. Update industry knowledge information that your teachers are going to give you will assist you with up-to-date information that you need. Also use useful websites. As I've said to you, use the Board of Studies and also HSC, CSU, EDU online. It's very important for you to remember those. Other things to remember are do the best that you possibly can. Only you know what that is. Others can only speculate that. You are the person that is controlled in your destiny, so apply yourself to the tasks and you will reap your rewards. Ask questions. Be the person that is the one that asks all the questions. Your questions may assist others who are having difficulty or feeling positive enough to ask those questions. Read, discuss issues, practice, study, and the results will be amazing. But one of the things are, use the media that's out there, the internet, the magazines, get as much up-to-date information as you can. My last tip for the HSC is answer all your questions as if the HSC markers are from Mars and not from Earth. I know this might sound funny, but please remember that this way you will give the basis that you need to explain fully all the responses to questions and to ensure you don't miss any details. This combined with industry knowledge, key terminologies, will give you the edge to that desired band 6 that you're after. I wish you luck, I wish you well, and good luck for the HSC exam.